I discussed some topic from this chapter whose title name is Fundamentals of Business Writing. Let's go ahead. In today's class, I would like to discuss some other topics from this chapter. After completing this lecture, you have clear idea about some topics. So the topics are as follows. Number 1, meaning of adaptation. Number 2, importance of adaptation. Number 3, basic principles of adaptation. And our last topic is meaning of introductory word, introductory clause, and introductory phrase. In today's class, our first topic is meaning of adaptation. Now, we'll try to understand the meaning of adaptation. Adaptation means fitting the message to the specific reader. In other words, we can say that adaptation is the process of making the message or writing according to the requirements or the label of the receiver of the message. So our another topic is the basic need of adaptation. That means, why is adaptation important? So our first reason is for writing to be clear, it must adapt to the reader. Because of cultural differences, all readers are not the same, even they are from the same country. That's why in communication adaptation is necessary. So you should be aware of his or her cultural background and take care to form your message to fit that reader's mind. Let's see what's our another topic. Our another topic is the basic principles of adaptation. The task of adaptation in communication is not an easy job. It requires a lot of things to be done and a good number of principles to be followed. The basic principles of adaptation are discussed in the next slides. Our first principle is symbols of communication should fit receiver's mind. So the receiver's mind is full of language and symbols that are shaped by his culture and the level of education. Our another principle is filter is the basis for adaptation. That's why we are to use the language that exactly matches to the filter of the receiver. Our next principle is good communication adapts to the receiver's filter. That's why you must use symbol and concept that have the similar meaning in your filter and the filter with which you communicate. Next principle is the technique of adapting is a hard work. Adapting your words and concept to your receiver will not come automatically to you. So, to make communication effective, you must find out the words and symbols that best adapt to the receiver's choice. So, our last principle is adapting begins with visualizing your receiver. You should form a mental picture of who they are, how much they know about your subject, what their educational levels are, and how they think. Then, keeping your receiver's image in your mind, you should select symbols that will communicate to them. At last, we can say that these are the basic principles of adaptation, which are very much necessary for making effective communication with a reader or receiver. Now, I would like to explain the meaning of introductory word. An introductory word is a single word that sits on its own at the beginning of the sentence. Here I have included two examples. The examples are as follows. Our first example is yes, I do like creative writing. Here, yes is an introductory word. Our another example is generally, good writers tend to have a degree in English. Here, generally is an introductory word because it sits on its own at the beginning of the sentence. Our another concept is introductory clause. It means dependent clause that is provide background information for the main part of the sentence. Here I have included an example for your better understanding. Our example is if they want to win, athletes must exercise every day. Here, if they want to win is an introductory clause because it provides background information for the main part of the sentence. Here, the main part of the sentence is athletes must exercise every day. In today's class, our last concept is introductory phrase. That means it is like a clause, but it does not have its own subject and the verb. For example, checking methodically, we never miss a mistake. Here, checking methodically is an introductory phrase because it does not have its own subject and verb.